welcome this evening. Thank you again for taking the time to spend the evening with us, a portion of it. Eddie, thank you for that introduction. Eddie is with our marketing department. Carrie Lazar is our expert content creator. She is with our marketing department as well. And we have again Milton Aguilar Bolanos, and he is our membership development officer, and he will be presenting Is Your Financial House in Order? We always want to say, thank you for being a member. Please spread the word to your friends, your family, your neighbors, your colleagues. Anyone can join our amazing credit union. So take it away, Milton.
Thank you, Kim. And I think you forgot to introduce yourself also, but I'll go ahead. I'm sure everyone is familiar with you by now. Kim is our membership development analyst and a great part of this amazing team that we have put together. Something that we started back in I believe it was March, if I'm not mistaken, and it's truly has taken off. We have been able to come in and share so much great information that we have received, a lot of great feedback. So we're excited that you are still making time out of your busy schedule and coming in and listening to what we had to share with everyone every Wednesday evening. So once again, today's topic is your financial house in order? That is an excellent question that we wanna discuss this evening. So with that being said, I want to pretty much, let's get started. Let's dive in into this amazing webinar. So during today's session, we're gonna discuss tips on how to ensure your financial house is in order to ensure you're taking the steps needed today for a secure retirement tomorrow. So we're going to begin by discussing your financial situation and talk about the key tools like budgeting, debt management. Next, we're going to explore ways on how you can protect your assets, prepare for retirement, and create a financial legacy for those that you love. So the first area that we want to put our focus into it is going to be your current financial situation. In the next few slides, we're going to cover a couple of great bullet points here. One of them being, it's going to be about how to organize your financial paperwork, the importance of reviewing your current income and expenses by doing a detailed analysis so that you can identify the areas where you may want to make changes and improvements. So budgeting and establishing an emergency fund is going to be very important. Let's take a look at this information right here that we see on this slide right now. So half of working age households are at risk right now of being unable to maintain their current standards of living during retirement. This is very powerful. This is some great facts that we've retrieved from the National Retirement Risk Index. And it is something again that if you haven't really put a lot of attention into it, this is the right time to do so. And as I stated before, the first thing that we want to look into it is, and one of the things that is also is going to be very important to get your stuff, organized. It's going to be by keeping sure that all your financial paperwork is in order. And are you storing this? Are you keeping this in a safe area? And if so, how long are you keeping those documents for? So I want you all to take a look really quick on this at this slide that we see here, and then you're going to see there are 4 different areas here that we want to focus on a particular that is going to be important and is going to be a key resource to get everything in order. The first thing that we want to do, especially when it comes to all the financial paperwork that we have, is that it is recommended that everyone saves at least 1 year of bank statements, 1 year of pay stubs. For those that have investment accounts, retirement accounts, it's also important to keep those those statements that you receive every quarter, make sure you save them for at least 1 year. And if you're still writing checks, keep a copy of those canceled checks for at least 12 months. So it's going to be very important, again, to keeping everything organized, and have it in a safe area, which again, it's the most important, especially, you all have seen, if you've been, if you've attended a previous webinars that we've done a lot in regards to identity theft, and that just happens to be one of the hottest topics right now. And oftentimes, people become victims whenever there are break-ins. Anybody can break into your house. So if you do have your financial paperwork just laying around and not in a safe and safe location, it is easy for a criminal to break in and access all of your information that could potentially put you at risk. So again, organizing everything, any financial paperwork is important, but not just organizing it and having it in a safe place, safe and secure place is going to be key. The next thing that we want to look into here is the items that you want to save for at least 7 years. And believe it or not, it's recommended that you save those income tax returns for at least 7 years. Also, any records if you sold a property, or again, I mentioned before, stocks. If you own stocks and you sell anything, it's important that you save those for at least 7 years. And the reason for it, that's the documentation that you need for capital gain tax. So I'm not sure if anyone here that's on this call has ever been audited, but if you happen to be a lucky one, and Uncle Sam said, you know what, let's take a closer look at this individual tax returns, and then let's make sure everything is in order. And if you ever happen to be that lucky, you better believe that the IRS is gonna want to go back and look to up to 7 years of tax returns, and it could be a very a pain trying to scramble and look for every tax returns that you have. So again, saving that information in a safe location for up to 7 years is highly recommended. The other documents that are also impacting also your finances are going to be anything that you have active, such as insurance papers. So if you have life insurance, home insurance, car insurance, you want to keep those. Do not dispose them. Do not throw them away. If you obtain a loan and the loan is still active, you're still making payments, you haven't received your title yet, save those documents in a secure location. Same applies for mortgages. And retirement and in warranty information. So again, having having all of those documents in order, organized, is going to be key to get a grip of your finances, and especially once you're trying to establish a good habit and a game plan to get yourself focused and organized as you're looking to save towards your retirement. The documents that you definitely want to shred, are any receipts, any utility, credit card bills that you receive. Those, don't just throw them away. Make sure that if anything has any personal information, that you're actually shredding them. Do not just throw them in the trash and become a victim of what I stated before, where there's people that's what they do for a living. Believe it or not, they go through dumpsters. They just go through and see if they can find any personal information that could be an easy point for them to steal your identity. So if you have anything that has your information on, that is not not in one of the categories that we just talked about, it is important that you go ahead and shred them. Oftentimes, you're gonna receive notifications, especially from us. We like to do either 1 or 2 shredding events per year. And if you want to, again, store all those documents and be on the lookout for any shredding events that are happening around your communities, and that's a good time to dispose those. If not, you can go on Amazon and you can buy a machine there, and it can easily utilize that. They're not too expensive, and trust me, they really are worth every penny that you pay for them, if you do decide to go that route. So So again, having everything, organizing all your financial paperwork is going to be a key in what you're looking to accomplish. The next thing is going to be budgeting, right? So a key element to a better financial future is saving more now. And one of the best ways to accomplish that is by easily just creating a budget. So even if you already have a budget, that's a good practice to revisit. Do not just because you created it, a couple of years ago and everything is still remains the same, doesn't mean that you don't have to go back and look and see. It's always good to review those budgets. I recommend that at least every 3 months you're going back and revisiting, especially I always like one of the things that I use myself is I always tell myself, you know what, every season I want to go back and check and see if I need to adjust something. And the reason why I say that, I happen to live in a house where in the winter I use my heating system uses gas. And obviously during the summer, I'm using, the AC, which is electric. So I know that my expenses are going to change based on winter or summer times, right? So that's the reason why I like to revisit my budget and see, how am I doing and what changes can I do to the budgets that I already have in place. So again, it's always good to revisit it and then do a little fine tune to it, right? Enhance it and always just be on top of it. And again, in its simple form, a budget is going to include a breakdown of your income and expenses. That's simply what a budget is, right? So, as we'll discuss in a moment, you're going to find opportunities in certain expenses that you can perhaps free up some money that you can use and put the money into a savings that will help you for the future. So, and you might ask yourself, right? So, what does a good budget allows you to do? So, four things. And that pretty much, I feel like I have been talking about it already. But the first one is it's going to allow you to, one, keep track of all your spending. It's going to help you manage, eliminate some of your debt. And it also is going to help you curb your impulse purchases, right? And last but not least, a good budget is going to be a tool that you're going to use as a resource to find ways to save money for you. And so a budget, again, is extremely, extremely, extremely important. Highly, highly recommended. If you take a look at this picture right here that you see on your screen, this is an actual budgeting worksheet that we have available here at the credit union. This presentation, we're going to share with everyone, including the link to access this particular budgeting worksheet that you see here. And I want us to take a look at the two sections that we have here. And just so that everyone knows, we're only highlighting this two sections here because this is the most common things that you will see on a budget. Now, different budgets might have different sections. You can add additional ones, or you can break it down into more specifics if you like. But just for the sake of time and just getting the basic out of it for those that never done a budget before, this is going to be the main piece of information that you're going to see in a budget. So the first thing that you're going to be looking at it, I'm sorry, is going to be the top section, which is your monthly income. So two boxes there to fill. The first one is going to be your paycheck. So that's the income that you receive from your employer. So the money that you're receiving after all your deductions, after taxes are taken away, and any contributions that you're making. So what are you getting that is coming to you clean, that is being deposited into your account, or that you're receiving in a check? Put all of that, plug in those numbers. Also, for those that have, perhaps if you have a side job, if you receive child support, alimony, or you receive funds from friends or family, whatever the case that might be, you want to include that in there. And the reason why I say that is because this is going to be very important, because this is going to allow you to determine, where you are in terms of how much money is coming in And if you look at the bottom section, which is going to be your expenses, right? I think this is the section is going to be pretty much is going to be the one that has the most items in your budget. Your income is easy, right? You know how much you're coming in, and that's it. Either one or two sources of income, three, four tops. But then when it comes to expenses, oh boy, brace yourself because there's so much to that a lot of times, oftentimes we don't really think about it because we just so automatically, paying, sending out those payments and everything. But if you start looking and paying closer attention, you will realize, exactly how much it is that you how much money is going away to different areas, right? So again, if you look at the bottom section here, it's going to be all about expenses. This is only two categories. Again, there could be more, as I stated at the beginning. But one of the things that I know it would apply to everyone, and that is that you always need a roof over your house, over your head, and you always need to have food on the table. So simple as that. So with that, you want to plug in all the numbers for how much money you're spending in your housing and how much money you're spending in food. Once you've done that, once you completed the entire form, I'm gonna give everyone some homework today. I don't think I ever given homework to anyone in the past. But the homework that we want to assign for everyone that is attending this webinar this evening is that once you complete this budgeting worksheet, we want you to go back and look at the entire form and check off whether or not you will receive the same income or if you're going to have the same expenses once you retire. Again, the homework for you is to go back, look at your budgeting worksheets, see how much income you're getting today, see how much you're spending today, or what are the expenses that you have today, and is that going to be are those some of those are the numbers that you're plugging in right now into this worksheet? Is that going to be the same once you're going to retire? I'll leave it at that. I know it's going to be a big a big exercise for many, especially I really hope that the people are attending here they have had done this or are actually doing it. But if you haven't, this will be a big exercise that can perhaps start raising a couple of eyebrows for yourself. So again, do this and then start implementing it and start going utilizing this to get your what we call in this webinar, right? Get your house in order, right? Get your finances in order. So again, we can you can shoot us a quick note after you've done that and let us know what numbers you came out and how things are looking for in your end. With that, I want us to move to the next slide here, which is managing debt, right? So managing debt is going to play a huge role in your budget, and believe it or not, it can help you lower your debt income ratio. I'm sure that for those that have bought a house before, or if you're looking to get a line of credit on your mortgage from your house, one of the first things that a financial institution looks into, besides your credit, is going to be what is your debt to income ratio, what is your DTI. If that's probably what the most common term that everyone uses nowadays. What is your DTI? And the DTI, again, the debt to income ratio, is very important, especially if you're looking to make a big purchase. And what that does is determines what is your buying power, your purchasing power, as to how much money is coming in and how much debt you have. So again, it is important that you grab you take ownership of your debt that you have today. And again, especially for those that are looking to buy a house or make big purchases down the road, even buying a car, believe it or not. in order to get the best rate, you want to make sure that your credit it's you have a great credit score, and when the credit score is being calculated, you'd be surprised. But one of the things that they look into it, one of the factors that have a huge input with your credit is to the companies look like the three bureaus. It's they see how much debt you have and how much income is coming in, and based on that, it's going to give you a boost on your credit score. So dealing with your debt right now, it is going to be extremely important. So couple of the strategies that we want to talk to you about in this particular field is going to be start making payments to the loans or credit cards that you have right now that have a higher interest rate. So if you receive right now it's October, December is around the corner for those that get bonuses. Or I know tax season is gonna open up towards the last week of January, so you can start doing your taxes. So you probably might be getting for those that get refunds. Whenever you get any additional income that's coming in, what are you doing with that money? Are you saving it? Are you using the money to pay off some of the debt that you have, or are you just going and using it for other purposes? If one of the answers is I'm just putting it in a savings account, then my question to you would be, what is the interest rate that you're getting in return for that money that you're putting aside? And if you're getting what is right now average, I would say, in terms of interest rate being paid on savings account, which is anywhere between 4 to perhaps 5%, depending on the type of a product that you choose. That is still is not going to be the same interest rate that you are perhaps paying on loans that are charging you anywhere between 18, 20, or even more of interest rate. So if you are getting additional money coming in, and you have debts, and then especially for those that have higher interest rate, it's highly recommended that take care of the debt right now, because believe it or not, even though you put it, if you're one of those that put it there is putting money aside and put it in a savings, which is great, but if you have debt out there, you're going to be spending more money on the debt rather than having the money inside a savings account, because the ratio, the 4 or 5% that you're getting paid in return of the money that you put in aside, it's not going to be even close to the money of interest rate that you're paying on a loan outside of that. So again, it is extremely important that if you do have additional income that is coming in, use that money and pay it to help you lower the higher interest rate loans, cars, credit cards, whatever it is that you have. Pay that off first, and then once you do that, start saving the money aside, which is you're gonna see a huge difference. But most important, it's gonna have a huge impact with your future. And that's what it's all about. This webinar, it's all about getting yourself, prepared, getting your financials in order, so that when it's time to retire, you're gonna have more money and you'll be able to enjoy retirement. The next thing is consolidate where possible, right? So again, going back to what I was just saying before. So if you do have loans, credit cards, and you're paying a high interest rate, especially if you have multiple ones, why not look into the option of doing a debt consolidation loan? Come and talk to us here at the United States Center for Credit Union. We have amazing rates right now, even for debt consolidation loans. We can help you and help you save. And what a debt consolidation loan is going to do for you is actually it's going to combine everything that you owe into one payment. And in return, we hope that the rate that you're going to receive from us is going to be way better than what you're currently paying. So again, consolidating all of that debt and put it into one account, into what we call a debt consolidation loan, could be a great option to look into. Now, last but not least, and I know this sounds easy, right? So avoid incurring unnecessary debt. It sounds easy, but it's probably the hardest thing, especially for those that are impulsive shoppers. It could be hard, but you know what? Discipline. If you have a credit card, You know that there's such a thing as freezing your credit card so that you're not using it. So definitely do that. I mean, you don't have to, have the credit card open at all times. Give me 1 second here. I just got a visitor. My apologies. My apologies about that. But with that being said, um, you know, you could put a freeze on your credit cards. You don't have to have this credit card open. 1 second again. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. I know normally it's my dog, the one that goes crazy, but this time my daughter paid me a visit. So my apologies again. But getting back to what I was saying in regards to doing some of the things that you can do to help you help you from using credit cards, especially for those that have credit cards. You just go ahead and put a freeze, hide them, put it in a way where you don't see them. They're not visible to you. Trust me, it might sound silly, but it works. Because if you don't have it with you, trust me, you more likely will be tempted to not use them. The other thing also is that if you're gonna buy something, try to pay with cash, right? Simple as that. So again, just things that can help you from getting yourself in trouble, especially if you do the first two things that we talked about. But if you leave those accounts open, the temptation might be there, and we want to help you, right? We want to make sure that we're helping you rather than hurting you. So doing these three things here will be very important. With that being said, the next thing here, and which is, in my opinion, the most important thing here, is that you need to prioritize your savings. And you may ask yourself why and what are the categories that I should be prioritizing. The first one and the most important one, in my opinion, is going to be creating an emergency fund account. With emergency fund, it is recommended that you save for at least 3 to 6 months, and have the money there that you can use for living expenses in the event that something happened where your income is no longer coming. And being prepared and having at least 3 months is going to be very important, because again, you never know. Life sometimes it's interesting, and anything can happen. So it is important that you do have money set aside, and for at least 3 months is what I like to recommend. But not just that, but the money that you're setting aside for emergency you have to make sure that this money is actually liquid. And what I mean with that is that money has to be in an account where you can access it at any time, where there's no restrictions, where you're not going to be penalized for taking the money out. And so, that's the definition of liquidity, right? Having this money liquid, and then be able to use it in the event of if anything happens. So again, 3 to 6 months of living expenses is what everyone recommends. I always tell my members, just make sure you have at least 3 months. And if you do that, that will be able to to be have that peace of mind in the back of your head. The next thing here is to protect yourself, right? Protection. And what do we mean when we say protection? Well, this is simple as having insurance, whether it's life insurance, medical insurance, home insurance, rental insurance, car insurance, you name it. You want to make sure that you are always protecting what's most valuable for you. And that's going to be, again, yourself, the house, the car, those things you definitely want to make sure that you do have, and that you prioritize, right? You make this a priority. And then you'll be surprised. Most employers, they offer everything that I just mentioned. Whether it's your health insurance, whether it's a life insurance, you can get that through your employer. um, and you might be, again, take advantage of that option, because you will be paying less if you were to go and get that protection through your employer. It could be very, very, very resourceful, and also help you save money, versus, if you were to go out and buy it outside, and just go in the market and buy for those outside of work. So again, it's very important. The next one, prioritize for those big ticket items that you want to accomplish, right? If you, again, and probably you're gonna get tired of me saying, but what if you want to buy a house, right? So you need to make sure that you make that a priority, and then you start saving for it. If you need to buy a car, have that plan, right? So don't always just say, what, I want to buy a car, but what are you doing for it? I want to buy a house, but are you putting money aside? Because I'll tell you right now, if you're gonna buy a house, most financial companies, in order for you to make that big purchase, you need at least 3.5% down payment for the property, and you're gonna need 3% for closing costs. So that's about 6 to 7% that you're gonna need to have handy, available, to go in and before you even decide that you want to make a purchase. So have you created a plan for it? Have you prioritized it? So again, having that the game plan is going to be very important. The other thing, and this is what we're all about, what we're talking about here, and that's going to be, retirement. Retirement, it's the main reason why we're doing this. And the reason why we're trying to put more emphasis to it is because, believe it or not, people are now living longer. So saving enough money to ensure that you have a secure retirement, it's got to be top priority for everyone on this webinar here this evening. And last but not least, caring for family. So many individuals in this webinar, again, I'm sure that some of you might be caring for an elder family member, or if you're like me, you heard, I have a little one at home. So you want to make sure that you include that, and create a particular priority list for that purpose, for your family, for those that you're caring for. So extremely, extremely important. Um, with that, you know, I talked about it in the previous slide, and this is pretty much in essence where what I want to emphasize, what I talked about before, which is securing your financial future. So taking advantage of all the resources that you have available. As I stated before, most employers, they able to offer you the option for a retirement plan, whether it's a 401k if you are in the private sector, a 403b or 457, or if there's a pension plan, make sure that you take advantage of those resources. And oftentimes, if you do happen to be fortunate that your employer provides that, 9 out of 10, they will be having they will have a matching contribution to whatever you contribute, wherever you're contributing. They will also match it for you. So I know most places will do either anywhere from 3 to 5%. So if they're doing that, depending on how old you are, I'll say do the most you can, do the most that makes sense for you. But if you are, if you're somebody that's already in their 40s, and you didn't save, didn't start saving until now, try to do the maximum that you can, because again, as we'll be talking about this, it is important that you, the once retirement age comes around, that you feel comfortable enough to make that transition into retirement. The next thing is seek professional guidance. You're not alone in this, right? That's the beauty of this, right? So you're not alone. You have people that can help you, whether that is a licensed financial advisor, an accountant, a tax advisor, somebody that can help you with determining the amount that you need to withhold for taxes, or someone that can help you with a pretty much map out a comprehensive strategy that will bring you closer to your financial goals. Make sure you seek out for help. Don't do it alone. There's so many resources that you can take advantage. Heck, us here at the credit union, we have so many different resources that we can provide to you at no cost. So make sure that you are, reaching out, and then you're seeking for guidance. And the other thing here too is that you need to be active, right? You need to take an active role in everything that you're doing, especially for those that have, retirement accounts, investment accounts. Every time you receive those statements every quarter, make sure you're reviewing it. Make sure that everything is still in track. If there's anything that is not looking that's looking like you're taking a dive, um, you know, heck, set up an appointment with a financial advisor and talk to them and see, perhaps, get a second opinion and see if you might need to move some of those things around. So again, being active is gonna be very important. And the last thing here is avoid cashing out early. So if you already have a 401k or any of those plans that I mentioned before, um, you know, if you happen to have just a traditional plan, you know that if you do take out money from a 401k, you two things are going to happen. One, there will be a penalty. Well, one, you're going to pay for taxes, and two, there will be a 10% penalty for doing an early withdrawal. So, would you rather do that, um, or would you rather create a plan today that can help you save money and have something, save, perhaps that can help you alleviate and avoid, that's going to help you avoid diving into your 401k, any retirement accounts you have. So again, these are going to be definitely great steps to take, to avoid paying any fees up front that is not necessary. So 401k, any retirement accounts should only be touched once you're ready for retirement. So hope that this has been helpful in terms of the tips that we provided to you here. This particular chart that I'm showing you right now is pretty much what I've been talking about, and the difference and then the impact that what taxes do to them. As I stated before, any retirement plan, and most of those plans are going to be pre-taxes, so you're not going to be paying taxes, unless you do a Roth plan. Those when you do have to pay taxes up front. But again, this is just some of the items that would be on the pre-tax list. After tax, so any money that you're saving that you put it into your savings account, CD account, mutual funds, annuities. If you're buying real estate, that's obviously something that you will be using, that will be used, and the money they will be using will have to be taxed in order for you to use that. Now, there are also other items that could potentially have tax-free implications, such as a 529 plan, for those that have little ones and you want to save for their college. That could be a great option to look into it. Life insurance, death benefits, again, education savings accounts. It pretty much is the 529 plan that I just mentioned. But again, this is definitely a great thing to have in the back of your mind, when you're making when you're working on and then planning for your future and retirement. Something here that I wanted to show you, and I really thank Carrie for putting this chart together for us. This is amazing. And I want you all to look at this really, really quick and very careful. So imagine if you save this much money every week, whether it's 25, 75, or 125. And you're doing this on a weekly basis for the next 25 years. And let's say you put this money into savings accounts, and then it's paying you a 4% return on the dividends or the interest rate that you're getting paid. So if you do $25 in 25 years, that $25 weekly will become $55,000. If you do 75, $165,000, and 125 will give you $276,000 in 25 years by simply putting the money on a weekly basis into an account that pays 4% interest rate. Um, you know, this number here again might sound depending on your situation, but it could be doable. It could be very easily doable. And if not, I mean, it doesn't have to be any of this specific amounts here, but the key of this is to start doing it now, right? To start saving today, and then have a plan in place. And if you do so, it truly is going to pay off down the road. And that's what we want you to. Again, we want to prepare you for that. We want to make sure that we're giving you the resources and the tips and tools so that when you think about the word retirement, that you feel comfortable, that you feel that, you know what, I got this, I prepare myself, and I have it under control. Don't be one of those people that are getting closer to the retirement age, but then they see where they stand financially, and they're like, oh man, seems like I'm going to be working until I'm 70 or perhaps even more. Don't be one of those. So if you haven't created a plan yet, start today. Do it today. It truly, you won't regret it. And remember what I say before. It is proven that people nowadays are living longer than they did before. And so, you know, just an additional motivation for everyone here to start saving today, towards your future. All right. So let's move into something slightly different. And this is going to be pretty much all about the financial checkups. So overseeing the family finances is an awesome responsibility. In addition to providing your family with the basic necessities of life, you may feel responsible for their overall financial well-being. So one of the best ways one of the best ways to care for your family is to be sure that you are prepared if something were to happen to you or another family member. So again, having a health insurance. If you have health insurance, you want to make sure that you're staying on top of that. Make sure that you have the right plan. Health insurance companies, they offer multiple plans, and oftentimes, there's always our life events that are going to happen. Um, for example, for those that are, right now, if you're young, you probably might not need the top coverage to have for your health insurance. But, as you start getting older, or perhaps you get married and you start a family, the same health insurance that you had when you were single might not be the best one to have now that you're married and you already have a family. So again, reviewing and looking at your where you stand with your health insurance, it's going to be very important, because I know that for sure health insurance companies, depending on the coverage that you have, they'll be able to provide you coverages, but and then you'll be able to have that, but the less you pay, the less you cover, and so it goes on and on, right? So if you want to have the best protection, to make sure that the coverage is there, depending on the needs that you have, again, it is important that you make sure that you review on your health insurance, and then you have the right plans to cover you and your loved ones. The other one, long-term care insurance. This is also very important. You never know what can happen. What happens if you get into an accident and all of a sudden you're unable to work? So are you protected? Do you have an insurance in place that can take care of that for you? Again, looking and exploring those options is going to be very important. The other one is going to be, property and casualty insurance, right? So for those that have homes and have valuable items, are they insured? Are they insured? I'm sorry. Do you have an insurance? And is insurance the right insurance? Because one thing is to have insurance, but the other thing is to make sure that you have the proper insurance that's going to cover everything that you have. Especially nowadays, I know a lot of companies they're moving into pretty much, and we've seen this a lot. where everyone is moving into they're writing you to buy your insurance online rather than going into an office or talking to someone on the phone. If you're doing it online, oftentimes, they use different metrics that can perhaps they can recommend based on the address that you input in, or the different coverages that you want. And a lot of times people, because they want to save money, they might buy an insurance that it might be cheaper, but it might not cover you for everything. And if something happens, you might be, you might be regretting it, that you didn't choose the best coverage for your properties or for your valuables. So again, it's very important. The other thing here is the life insurance. Life insurance is another thing too that I highly recommend for everyone. And again, as I stated in the past, oftentimes your employer might be able to offer you an option to obtain life insurance, and if they do, make sure that you sign up for it. And you can protect your also if you're married, you can protect your spouse, and some of them even allow you to protect your little ones as well too, for those that have families and are under 18. And last but not least, the disability income insurance. This is also another big one here. Um, and and if you take a look at this information here that we received from the Social Security Administration, that says that 25% of today's 20-year-olds will become disabled before they retire. That's 1 in 4 people. This number here, it's a little scary. And so having a disability income insurance might not be a bad thing to look for. And again, this is something that most employers should be able to provide it for you. So if you do have that option, make sure that you sign up for it. And again, that the number here that is given is coming directly from Social Security Administration, and this was a study that was done, and it was just done this year, 2023. So 1 in 4. Think about that number. A little scary in my opinion. With that being said, we want to start looking into the actual planning for retirement. So again, when you think about your budget in our discussion around expenses that continue into retirement, at a time when income becomes, it's going to become less. And then we want to start to form a picture of what income levels we may need in retirement in order to achieve the lifestyle that you're looking for. So let's drill down a little bit and talk about how much a person may need to maintain in order to maintain, your lifestyle once you go into retirement. So the actual percentage depends on a number of factors to take into consideration. So again, the lifestyle you want when you retire, your retirement age is very important, your Social Security benefits, and when you elect to take them, your company pension benefits, the rate of inflation, which I know today this is one of the hottest topics, because inflation, boy, I tell you, it's insane. Let me just say that. Income tax rates, and last but not least, your health. So I want you all to take a look at this chart really quick. For the most part, we have always been under the impression that the inflation rate has always remained anywhere between 3 and 3.5%. This has happened pretty much. This has been steady for the last 20 plus years, until pandemic happened. Once the pandemic hit, the inflation rate started to change. A lot of people are saying that you know what, it eventually is going to come down. It's going to come down again to the numbers that we're used to, which is it's anywhere again anywhere between 3 and 4%. So, but for those that don't know, inflation rate as of now, it's a little over 8% as of today, and that's what the government is telling us. But in reality, if you listen to some experts in finance, they will tell you that that's not the case. That in fact, inflation, it's actually closer to 12% or more. So that's an alarming number. But let's forget about that for a little bit, and let's go back and look at the what's happened in the last 20 years, and use that information and put it in towards the future, right? So I want you all to look at what inflation is going to do in 10 years and what's going to happen in 20 years if again the 3.5% of inflation returns, which everyone is hoping for that, but you never know. But with that being said, I don't want to talk about every category here, but the one thing that I want to talk about is the one in the middle, which is shelter or housing. If you look at it, in average 2023 housing, it's about 17, almost 1,800, 1,796. So it is expected that by 2033, that amount is going to be 2,533. And in 20 years, the number is almost pretty much it doubles from what it is today to what could be in 2043. So if you look at the number, 3,574 is what's expected. And this is only if we're assuming that the inflation rate will get back to normal, what has been and what it's been like in the last 20 years, which is a 3.5%. But if you look at it and tell yourself, okay, I want to retire in 20 years, and this is what I'm getting right now of income. Is the income that I'm getting right now enough for me to pay for the roof over my head? And so again, this is a very alarming number. So for those that like to have a very active lifestyle, you need to take that into consideration. Inflation, it truly is becoming something that you want to pay a lot closer attention to, especially for those that want to retire in the next 10 to 20 years. The other thing here that you want to take into consideration is going to be the rise in medical costs. A 65-year-old couple may need up to 318,000 to cover for healthcare costs once they retire, and 45% of adults ages 50 to 64 had little to no confidence in their ability to afford health insurance once they retire. That is very alarming. So again, once you start thinking about the big transition from working into going into retirement, you got to take all this into consideration. So it's very important. Now, want to continue to move on here because I know it's we're running getting close here towards the end of this presentation. But one of the things that I did wanted to mention, it's pretty much if you haven't started saving for retirement, do it now. Start today. And it's important to keep investing through all the market cycles. I know right now might not be the best market because of what's happening, pandemic, different wars going on at the moment. So it truly is a little bit of alarming. And the trend might not be, what everyone wants, but you need to stay at it, keep going at it, because eventually, it's going to pay off in the long run. So, do not get discouraged because of what the trend is recently, what's happening today. But always just think about it on the long run, right? Think about once you get ready to retire. This right here is a quick shot from the Social Security Administration. And it's pretty much a question that you want to ask yourself, right? When should a person retire? When do you want to retire? This chart right here is telling you, what the monthly payments you will be getting for somebody that retires at 62. What if you wait an additional 4 years and then retire at 66, or better yet, wait until you're 70 and see the difference that makes. So somebody retired at 62 right now is going to be getting $1,500 from Social Security. If you wait until 66, it's $2,000. And then 70, it will put you right at 2,640. And again, it's if you see the projections, it's not too bad. It's not too bad, but you want to make sure that what we just talked about before, right? Inflation, and take that into consideration. 2640, is that going to be enough to pay for your rent? Is it going to be enough to pay for your mortgage? Think about that. Ask yourself those questions. Again, I'm sorry that I'm rushing here a little bit, but one of the things that is very important also to do, it's going to be, do a estate planning, help to help yourself, help your family, do all of this now. Talk to an expert about doing creating a estate plan. We offer those services with our very own Michael from Fellows. He's going to help you to provide a legacy to your loved ones, and the invaluable charitable organizations that are dear and close to your heart. So creating a plan today is going to be very important. And as I stated before, right, creating building a financial team is going to be the key for you to be successful. So having a financial advisor is going to be very important. A tax advisor, credit counselor, an attorney, everything that you need in order to have a solid plan, so that when you're thinking about that, making the big decision as to whether or not you want to retire now, do you have everything in order? If you don't, make sure you put this team together for you, because as I say before, you're not alone in this. There are experts here that can help you to help you achieve the goals that you have. And us here at the United States Senate Federal Credit Union, we provide all of the services with the exception of the attorney. We don't do that. But financial advisor, we have those. We can also send you to a tax advisor and credit counselor. We can definitely do that. We have Green Path that provides great resources to all of our members. And the most important thing is that this is free. And as I mentioned his name before, here's Michael's information. He works for Fellows, and that's the company that we use over here at the credit union as our financial advisor. So again, I'm sorry that this presentation went a little longer. I know we had a special guest that came in, but I'm going to end it over here. So thank you all so much for attending. Guys, do we have any questions that we can answer? I know Kim, myself, and perhaps even Carrie might be able to jump in and answer any questions that we have in the Q&A or the chat. Thank you all so much for listening, and I hope this has been helpful for everyone.
Thank you very much, Milton, for such a great presentation. And what stuck to me was discipline, because I love shopping. I think Kim can relate to that, so we got to be a little bit more disciplined on that. But let's jump into the questions. I know that we're, close to time, so we appreciate you for staying here with us. But it was such great information that I believe everybody can benefit from. So the first question, and I know you touched a little bit on this, but maybe Kim or Milton, I can elaborate a little bit more. The question is, I do have a question. I'm already retired, and is there any info or tools for those of us who are already retired? So I believe that we have many tools and many services that we provide for our members, but also next week we have a webinar talking about retirement, correct? So I don't know if one of you want to elaborate on that. Don't fight now.
I'll go ahead about the webinar next weekend on IRA savings, certificates, and then we'll talk a little bit about this tool we have, Retirement Central. It's available now on our website, but it's got calculators for planning for retirement, but also some articles useful for those who are already in retirement. But that's next weekend, and our IRA specialist will be on the call to answer questions. She's a lot of knowledge there. So, but that was kind of next week, so stay tuned.
Thank you, Carrie. I was going to add, I think our financial advisory services with Fellows is on the actual screen right now. That's another excellent resource for you to talk to a financial advisor if you are already retired. They can give great insight and answer the questions that you need.
And then that's a great segue for our next question, which is basically Kim and Kerry already answered those questions, but we're just going to emphasize it because we always read each question, you know. So is access to a certified financial planner a benefit of USSFCU membership? And the short answer is yes, because like Kim was saying, we have services like Fellows, we have services like GreenPath. Those are people that are certified to help you on your financial goals and, you know, plan, you know, that pathway that you need to take in order to reach your goals. So we also have, you know, knowledgeable people in the credit union, but if you want that specific person that's going to plan your finances and they're certified, then you definitely, if you have the membership with the United States Senate Federal Credit Union, you will benefit from that. And that Michael is great. He's very knowledgeable, and his information is on the screen. Also, if you have any questions, don't forget to call the 800-374-2748 number. Option 7, if you want to talk to the amazing Kim Friedley, which is one of our panelists this evening. I have another question. Let me see. I just saw here. Oh, okay. If you are eligible to withdraw from your TSP, should you use some of your savings to pay off a credit card balance? What would you guys say?
So we all know that the purpose of a retirement plan is to finance your post-work years. You know, it allows us to maintain, improve upon our retirement standard of living. Most financial advisors will encourage you to save as much as you can in your qualified retirement account, and to defer from making withdrawals unless it's a real emergency. Some 401ks, retirement plans, TSPs will allow you to take a loan, but you got to remember, when you take that loan, you're going to be paying it back, and that money is not going to be earning dividends to allow you to reach that retirement goal that you have. So again, we partner with Fellows. I would highly recommend that they look at your portfolio and help you to discern what is the best way to pay those credit cards back.
And right off the top, though, if they have a higher interest rate, consider refinance or consolidating them to one like that doesn't have such a high interest rate. Like we said 2 weeks ago when we were on the call, if most banks offer 26% APR and you find a card at a credit union for 14 and there's no balance transfer fee, consolidate and save. Or whatever.
Yeah, we just had a member who had an 18% consolidation loan already that attended that webinar, came to us and got an 8% rate. So try to stay away from retirement. But again, you know, speak with a financial advisor, someone who can actually, you know, give you expert advice. But we definitely can do a consolidation loan.
I like the fact that Kerry mentioned that. So I don't know now if Kerry works for the credit union or for Fellows, but she sounded like an expert on that matter, you know. So Kerry, great answer for that. Another question. Is it true that if you draw or withdraw your SSA benefit at 62, you will break even in 12 years?
I'll take that one, Eddie. And yes, that's what you know, that is the projection. That's what it's showing. But however, you know, you just never know. But then also, you know, there's also the myth that Social Security might not be around for the next, you know, 20 years. So, you know, if it really depends, right? It truly depends. But you know, making that decision, you know, it's definitely not an easy one. But if you do so, you know, make sure that you consult with an expert, and that's the reason why, you know, we wanted to, you know, highlight. I know Michael is amazing when it comes to you know, answer those type of questions. So if you want to set up an appointment, again, his services are free. You don't have to pay for a consultation with Michael. So he would love to, you know, sit down with you and review and see what all the options that you have that are available. But yeah, to go back to the original question, the projection, yes, it shows that you'll be able to catch up after the 12 years.
And then we want to emphasize that if you talk to somebody at Green Path, or like Milton was emphasizing, Michael at Fellows, that's confidential. The credit union doesn't have to do anything with that. It's a free service that you get to have membership with us, but anything you discuss with them is going to be between them and yourself. So don't worry about that. Your information won't be out there. It's very confidential. Another question, and Kerry, you mentioned that we will have an IRA expert next week. So would the IRA specialist have info on 529B rolled over to a Roth IRA? Is that a yes or a no, or a maybe, or a perhaps?
I'll make a note of it and make sure that she does.
Like Kerry was saying, Mary Nelson is her name. Many of you perhaps know the name. She's very knowledgeable when it comes to IRA. So best believe that if you attend the webinar next week and you bring up that question, she'll be gladly answering that question for you. And then Kerry, somebody just joined the webinar a little bit late because they were in traffic. You know how traffic it is, whether it's in the DMV or any other area of America. Would this webinar be available for viewing online afterwards?
Like the slides or the video?
Both.
The slides, I put the link in the chat and I can email them to everybody. The file was so big because of all the graphics, so it doesn't look as good as it did on the screen. So as I had to take a lot of the art out to make it able to upload on our website. And then hopefully the recording though will be available within the next week, I hope, but I'll definitely email the slides out after this, and a link to Michael's calendar, which I also stuck in the chat box, a link to that budgeting sheet, and then links to the upcoming webinars that we were just discussing, so you can register for those. And then hopefully my boss will have the video ready within the next week.
So all you need to do is go to ussfcu.org, do on the search bar webinars, and then you'll be able to see the upcoming webinars and previous webinars that we have done. Like Milton was emphasizing at the beginning, we have been doing this since March. And I feel like we've been doing this for a while now, and we have created those relationships with the members. I know that Kim is always on the phone when they click option 7, of course. She's talking to them, she's, giving them advice, or, answering extra questions that they may have after the webinars. So, it's great that, we're building this relationship with you all. And, we want to do these webinars weekly, and, we want to turn our cameras on so you can see our faces. So, that we are actually people that care for our members. We do this because we believe in this. We believe in the movement of, the topics that we talk about, the weekly Wednesday webinars. And as you can see, even Milton had a special guest today, his daughter, and that makes you realize that just like you are, family people, we are also family people as well. So I just want to make sure that that here at the United States Senate Federal Credit Union, we care about our members. Milton, I don't know if you have any last words to say.
No, again, I just want to say thank you. Thank you so much again for coming in and joining us. There's one more question that just came through, and it's asking if the webinars are going to be available on YouTube, and the answer is yes. We are doing our best to upload them into our social media platform, and YouTube is one of them. So we are working to that. But no, I just wanted to say thank you for everyone that came in and stuck through the entire presentation. We truly appreciate each and every single one of you, and most important, we thank you for your membership. And as Kim alluded to at the beginning of the presentation, we want you to we want you to help us in spreading the word and sharing all of this with the information with other that you have. And they're invite them to become members if they're not members yet. Right now we have an amazing promotion, $88 referral program. So if you want to refer anyone, you get paid $88. They'll also get paid $88. I don't think it's a bad deal. It's unlimited, right, Kerry, if I'm not mistaken? There's no limits as to how many people you can refer. So if you want to make a little additional money and then put it into your savings, and actually have something to put away for the next 25 years, you could start with $88, and that will be on us, if you will. So again, thank you, and we look forward to having you back again next Wednesday with the IRA presentation. So we are excited. Again, hope everyone has a wonderful evening. Panel, thank you all so much again. As always, appreciate y'all.
See you next.